Welcome back. Welcome back to Living in Mexico. I'm Ana Maria Salazar. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. We broadcast every weekend from Saturday and Sunday from 7 to 8 a.m. So keep on joining us because there's just a lot of news. And of course, we've been following very closely what's happening with the campaigns. But what has been very interesting is trying to understand policies that both there's three presidential candidates, as you know, but the two that are at the forefront are Xochitl Galvez and Claudia Sheinbaum, and it's interesting to try to understand what are their policies going to be in regards to energy. And of course, with Claudia Sheinbaum, pretty much we have to assume, at least the way she's said it or she hasn't really explained it, is that she will continue with President Manuel Lopez Obrador's energy policy, whatever that is. But this week, Xochitl Galvez was criticized by Claudia Sheinbaum, saying that her intention is to privatize Pemex. And she came back and said, no, her intention is to make sure that Pemex is not contaminating and sickening the Mexican citizens. I mean, that kind of was her defense. And this has to do with Xochitl Galvez's position that she wants to close down Cadereyta. I still don't understand what the strategy could be behind some of these proposals. And even if she does become president, can she close down Cadereyta? I don't know. What do you think? Joining us today, you all know her well. Miriam Grunstein. She is an energy analyst. She's been joining us throughout the years. Miriam, welcome to the show. Before we talk about what's happening with Cadereyta and these other refineries, I mean, what would be the purpose to close down Cadereyta?
Well, I mean, in order to shut down a refinery, you have to have it be either really inefficient or really polluting. And the thing is that there are no public numbers or data that are reliable enough to finally decide to shut down Cadereyta. Aside from a lot of complaints of pollution in the area of Nuevo León, which is the bottom line. Now, the president, whomever she may be, nor the current president cannot shut down a refinery. It has to be inspected by ASEA, by the environmental agency that is competent for doing so. And for that, they would have to have enough expert information to shut down the refinery. So what we have is a lot of opacity.
And just promises and we don't really understand what's behind perhaps these decisions being made. I mean, we still have Dos Bocas, and I want to talk briefly about Dos Bocas because the president he inaugurated it. He promised that there would be refining gasoline by now. Do you have any sense?
They're refining it. They haven't put it in the market.
Okay, so if they're refining it, I was reading some data about what this could mean for Pemex in terms of in short term and long term. I mean, is it ever going to be a viable endeavor? I mean, is it worthwhile insisting on Dos Bocas to become one of the major producers of gasoline in the country? I still don't
really
understand.
Can't say because there's not enough information in order to ascertain that the Olmeca refinery, better known as Dos Bocas, will be functional and will provide the cheaper and more sustainable barrel that the president has promised. There is no hard data. There are procedures that have to be followed in order for a refinery to deliver the first barrel of gasoline. And to this date, there is a clash between the time periods reported by the president and the time periods that are generally followed in the construction of the refinery before they deliver the first barrel.
So, I don't want to say the president has been lying. Perhaps he was misinformed or he was being very optimistic, but it doesn't sound like that it's going to be producing any gasoline before this administration is over. Am I being unfair?
No, I think you're probably being accurate. I don't think that the president is lying, but we have to make a difference between the discourse of a company that does not deliver a political message and a company that delivers a political message, such as Pemex. So private companies have stakeholders and to report to be transparent, to be accountable before them. Pemex really does not. So the information can be manipulated as needed by the president or as needed by the government.
But isn't Pemex information in regards to the function of Pemex, it needs to be made public simply because it has so many loans and there's a certain level of transparency that is required, for example, that they need to provide to, they're not shareholders, but people who invest in Pemex. I mean, they have to provide information, right?
Bondholders, yes. So
yes.
If you have to consult the Securities Exchange Commission report that is filed by Pemex. That's one very good way of actually ascertaining whether Pemex is being efficient and delivering value to their bondholders. Now, there are enough valuations of the bonds by the credit rating agencies that says that the bonds are very risky and are at the limit of being junk bonds. So that's a very good signal that the Pemex as a whole is not delivering value.
There was also some information that was published this week, and I haven't read it closely, but they're trying to figure out how much Pemex is losing in terms of kind of trying to understand Pemex as a company and what the future of Pemex should be. So, you listen to the candidate, Xochitl Galvez, she talks about modernizing Pemex, not privatizing, but modernizing. And I'm just trying to understand, what does that mean? Does that mean she's going to invest even more resources in Pemex, which it seems would be a bad investment right now, considering how, there's so much, there's a major preoccupation in terms of the amount of money Pemex is losing every year. So what should be the future of Pemex?
First of all, they say that Pemex is the most overdiagnosed company in the world, the most overdiagnosed oil and gas company in the world. It is overdiagnosed, but the data of those diagnostics are not necessarily accurate. So the first question that you have to make is, what is Pemex good for? What can Pemex excel at? And to focus those areas. Exploration and production of oil and gas has been Pemex's biggest and most profitable business.
Right.
But not even today. We have a declining rate of production. We're down to less than 1.7 million barrels per day. So we really have to, when she says modernizing, that's a very broad term. She talks about investing in renewable energies, investing in hydrogen, investing in energy transition, investing in energy efficiency, but all those things are wishful thinking if you haven't identified the strong points of Pemex and what are the loopholes where Pemex is actually losing a lot of money.
I keep on trying to understand what what this is a problem with both candidates. I mean, how much the Mexican government strategy is going to change for the next administration. Let's do this because we ran out of time. Promise me you'll come back really soon, and maybe we can just sit and go through some of the proposals line by line to see if we can make any sense of it. Thank you so much, Miriam Grunstein. She's a very well-known energy analyst. She's been joining us throughout the year. Thank you so much, Miriam.
Thank you, Ana Maria.
Let's go to commercial break. I'm Ana Maria Salazar, and you're listening and watching Living in Mexico. Please don't go away. I'll be right back.